everyone, welcome back to Andonstar's new program, I'm Learning Soldering. I'm Katrina. In the previous video, we mentioned the tools and materials for soldering preparation. But soldering needs to use these tools and materials to complete the soldering on circuit boards. So in this video, we'll introduce you the PCB in soldering.
Firstly, let's look at this single-sided PCB, also known as single-layer PCB, is a circuit board type that, produced with only one layer of conducting material, usually copper foil, on one side of the board, while the other side is used for attaching different electronic components to the board. A single-sided PCB, therefore, embodies a substrate layer, a conductive metal layer, a protective solder mask, and silk screen. The substrate layer, also known as the base material, provides the physical support and mechanical strength for the PCB. It is usually made of an insulating material, like fiberglass reinforced epoxy resin. On top of the substrate, we have conductive layers made of copper foils. These conductive layers form the circuitry and interconnections on the PCB. They are etched or patterned to create traces and pads. Optionally, apply a solder mask to the top side of the PCB to protect the copper traces from oxidation, environmental factors, and physical damage. The silk screen is typically applied using a screen printing process, using a non-conductive ink that contrasts with the PCB substrate, and copper traces for enhanced visibility. It plays a crucial role in aiding the assembly, identification, and maintenance of PCBs. Next, let's look at the double-sided PCB. The double-sided PCB is copper-coated on both sides, with a substrate layer in the middle. It has components on both sides of the board. They are fabricated by joining two layers of copper together, with a dielectric material in between. The copper on each side can transmit different electrical signals, which makes them suitable for applications where high-speed and compact packaging is essential. The electrical signals are routed between the two layers of copper, and the dielectric material between them helps to keep these signals from impeding on each other. Double-sided PCB is the most common, and also the most economical board to manufacture. Multi-layer PCBs consist of multiple layers of substrate and conductive traces. They can have 3 or more conductive layers, with the traces interconnected through vias. Okay, after introducing the internal structure of the PCB, let's take a look at the surface of the PCB under Andonstar Ep.3 Pro. First, let's look at the multi-purpose board. Take a close look at the multi-purpose board and observe its layout. You'll find rows and columns of interconnected holes or sockets. You can insert any through-hole components on the pads, design any layout, and organize any circuits through wires, that is through-hole technology. Now let's try to insert different components. First is the resistor. Bend its pins. Insert its pins into any two holes of the multi-purpose board. Let's try the diode. The same, insert two pins into the two holes. And then try this 8-pin IC, which can also be inserted at will. Let's see the PCB for surface mounting technology. Every PCB has created the circuit design using PCB design software. Place the components and route the traces accordingly. The conductive layers consist of traces and pads. Traces are thin pathways that carry electrical signals, while pads are the metal areas used for component attachment. Pads, which are usually circular or square, serve as contact points for soldering or connecting electronic components.
This is the end of today's video. If you have any better suggestions, welcome to comment and tell us. This is Andonstar I'm Learning Soldering. See you next time. Bye-bye.